Hi, my name is Undine Rhines. I'm doing a presentation today on ensuring fair employment practices abroad. This will be my second semester here at Clark State. My teacher for this class was Don Poole, and the class was Business Communications, class 2211. Imagine being 9 months pregnant, working 12-hour shifts in an extremely hot factory, basically being underpaid. Well, I'm quite sure somewhere today that's going on as we speak. That's why I chose to do my topic on ensuring fair employment practices. In the United States, workers have the right to organize a union, bargain for better ways in their work environment, better working conditions, as well as wages. Fair employment practice laws also refers to employees' rights and responsibilities. What exactly are fair employment laws? They're laws designed to assure equal employment, and they also forbid any form of discrimination, whether it being against religion, sex, or national origin. Here I have listed are a few of the employment laws. The Equal Pay Act of 1963, that prohibited discrimination on the basis of sex. Then you have the Age Discrimination Act of 1967, that protects workers age 40 or over and allows them to be a hot commodity still in the workforce. The Rehabilitation Act of 1973, that states that federal contractors must accommodate handicapped workers. They should have good sized whips for people with wheelchairs if they are attempting to work. An Immigration Reform and Control Act of 1986, that bans discrimination on national origin or citizenship. The ADA, that stands for the American Disabilities Act of 1990. That guarantees that individuals with a disability will have equal access to public services and it requires employers to accommodate that person. Also continued, here is one more employment law act. This was the Pregnancy Act of 1978. This demands that pregnancy be treated as any other disability protected by law. This includes pregnancy, childbirth, foster or adoption of a child to that employee. That led us into the Family Medical Leave Act. It requires that eligible employees receive up to 12 weeks of leave within a 12-month period from any job. That covers any of the following events: the birth of a child, placement of a child with the employee for adoption or foster care. It allows the employee to take time off to care for an ill spouse or a parent. And it also allows an employee with a pre-existing condition, if they were to become unable to perform their job, it allows them some time off. That also ties in with the Civil Rights Act of 1964. It forbids horrible treatment. It also forbids the effects of that treatment, and it also forbids harassment. That could be sexual harassment, whether ranging from a superior or a coworker. The United States Department of Labor and International Labor Affairs. I'm going to shorten that up and use ILB. That ensures that workers throughout the world are treated fairly and receive the same benefits as the global economy. The ILB's purpose was to use all available international resources to improve working conditions, raise wages, and living standards of the workers. They also address the issue of child exploitation. The ILB is made up of 3 sections: the Office of Child Labor, Forced Labor and Human Trafficking. That's OCFT is short for that. The Office of International Relations, and the Office of Trade and Labor Affairs. The OFC supports the President and the Secretary of Labor, and they also investigate and reports any accusation of child or forced labor or human trafficking. The OIR controls policy and programs issues related to the International Labor Organization. They also conduct research and policy discussions on important labor issues. The OTLA implements trade-related labor policy. They also develop and coordinate with the Department of Labor positions. Overseas, sweatshops seems to be a big deal. In sweatshops, workers are not respected. They work under dangerous and sometimes inhumane conditions for very low wages. Fair Labor Association attempts to put a stop to all these accusations that are going on overseas with the sweatshops. They partner with international unions around the world to discuss labor issues. And they also believe that all goods should be produced in a fair and humane environment. What does the FLA do? They hold companies accountable and require them to implement the code of conduct, across the supply chain. They conduct external investigations and assessments, and they also provide a neutral space for civil organizations to meet with other companies to come up with solutions for the concerns. The impact. The FLA has improved lives by giving solutions to abusive labor by offering resources and delivering training to companies and conducting assessments and working as an advocate. All companies that decide to join the FLA commit to 10 principles of fair labor and responsibilities, and they also have to withhold the workplace code of conduct. The workplace code of conduct promotes labor standards that aim high to achieve human working conditions. Here is a list of the principles. You have the employment relationship. This is where employees shall adopt and adhere to the rules and conditions of the employment. Non-discrimination. No person shall be subject to any discrimination upon employment. Then you have harassment or abuse. No person shall be forced to do labor. Child labor. No one under the age of 15 should be working instead of getting an education. Freedom of association and collective bargaining. That means employers shall recognize and respect the right of employees' freedom and collective bargaining. We have health, safety, and environment. Employers shall provide a safe and healthy workplace for their employees. Hours of work. Employers shall not require workers to work more than regular overtime allowed, and if so, the proper compensation for those hours must be paid. FLA's effectiveness. There was a case in El Salvador in 2004 where they visited a factory and they found out that workers were not being paid for their overtime. They were being paid 63 cents per hour, but should have been making $1.26. In 2005, after a follow-up visit, the FLA confirmed that the back pay owed to the workers had been paid. Another case, in 2009, they found out the workers at a factory store creating DVDs and CDs were not being paid their regular wages as well. They also were not using earplugs and eye protection in areas where it was required. Deductions also from their savings plan exceeded the 30% limit. As a result, FLA worked with them and later confirmed that the Human Resource Department modified their payroll software so it would detect deductions greater than 30%. They also conducted interviews with current employees to check on the improvements. And there was also training programs implemented regarding the protective equipment. And as a result, the Fair Labor Association, they basically work for the people to improve working standards, wages, and make sure that everyone is receiving all the benefits they should from their employer.